Hey there everybody, this is Greg with Copper State Adventures. We're going to do a quick video today on the 3 tents that I have. I do only have 3 tents. I've accumulated them over the years. My buddies and I are going on a camping trip this weekend. I just want to make sure everything's in working order so that nothing malfunctions while we're out and about. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll just give you a quick review of what I have, kind of where I've accumulated them from, and kind of what the fixer-uppers I know I need to do. Specifically a couple zippers I need to work on. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you what I got. Alright guys, so here's the 3 tents that I do have. This one that's not rolled up, this is my go-to backpacking tent. It's the Eureka Sunriver 2. It's not rolled up. I just finished a backpacking trip and I never took it out of my bag, and I usually don't necessarily pack it up in the backpacking bag. I will simply just throw it in like that, kind of arrange it. It seems to take up less space, seems to be a little lighter. I'm not carrying the bag with me. So that's why that one's out of the package. I got 2 over here. The blue one is a Coleman Sundome. That one's about 15 years old. Got that back when I was in Boy Scouts. Kind of just inherited that tent. I'll show you what that looks like as well. The black one was a gift from my wife maybe 2-3 years ago. This one's actually lighter than both of these tents. Now, the reason being the Rainfly is a lot smaller, so a lot less fabric, but it's a larger tent, so that's always interesting. But let's go and get these put up. I'll show you what's going on with these. Alright everybody, we got all the tents set up now. It took about 15 minutes total, about 5 minutes a piece. They are all 3 dome style tents, as you can see. I know it's not the best camera lighting, you can't see the one on the very end, it kind of blends in with the sky, but you guys saw me put them up. I did not extend the vestibule on the Sunriver. I just don't have the time. I'm doing this before work right now, so I'm not really putting that much time into it this morning. I know it works. I just used it, like I said, about a month ago, so everything should be fine. I'll double check the zipper and stuff, but the stake holders, the mule tape that holds the stakes, I don't know what those are called. I'm sorry if someone can let me know. I forgot what the name of that is. Those are all fine, working condition. Nothing with that. If there was something wrong with it, I'd know about it. So I'm not going to be too much investigation on that one today. But the other 2 I definitely want to check. Let's check them out. One that I finished putting together, the Coleman, the Sundome CX3. Now they do make this one also in a green, I believe, also in orange, newer. Like I said, I've had this tent probably 12 to 15 years now. It's a great tent. It's heavy, but it's been great to get us through our summer camping trips, our monthly camping trips with the Boy Scouts. Someone donated them and we used them so much that we just used them. Once they kind of got so old, we got new tents in the troop, and I just took this. Now there's the doggy door. I definitely use them for my dog, other dogs that have been around. My buddy has one too from Boy Scouts, and he uses it with his dog as well. Now the inside of this tent, that was just a quick walk around. The inside of this tent is very spacious. I believe it's a 7x7. Enough room. I've had 2 people in here at one time. There's all the space, good ventilation. The walls come up a little high, so it is a little warm in the summer. There's pockets here. There's a lot of pinholes, as you can see. We've camped too close to fires sometimes. Different things like that. It holds dirt pretty good. Like I said, it's not staked out, so it's kind of collapsing here. There's a hole in the bottom of the tent. I think it's just from a rock, maybe some cactus I camped on at one point. And I just duct taped it. It was fine. It's already a heavy tent, so I wasn't looking to save any weight on that type of condition. Now, there's also this tent. I'm going to go ahead and open this so that when we set up this weekend, we're not too hot. And I'm also get the chance to test the zipper up and down, all the way over. That's fine with me. Let's give a door a test. So I just pulled back this rain fly so I can get in here a little easier. I don't need that to function with the zipper. A little difficult with one hand, as you can imagine. Everything seems to be going fine. If I had two hands, of course, this would function a lot simpler. Of course, it was closed. Not of course, but it was closed. Whoever borrowed it last, I just left it closed and zipped it up. That's okay. I like to leave them open. So it did zip up. I'm going to do it one more time. And that part's tough. And so we're good to go. I'm going to jump in here real quick and test out the door, because you can seal up this ventilation. So again, from the inside, just testing out the zipper one last time. You can see the cracks in it maybe. It's definitely an old tent. I had two of these actually. Got them from Boy Scouts, it was all good. And I took it out. We were in Mississippi. I was working on a conservation corps at the time. And we weren't backpacking or anything. We were actually car camping. Or just kind of at a base camp. And these all seem to be working fine. Anyway, we're at a base camp and the tent zippers finally gave out. And of course, all summer long, the tent was fine. It was dry. Everything was fine outside. So all of a sudden, this big storm came in, as you would imagine, in Mississippi. And all of a sudden, the tent zippers didn't work, and I was stuck in the water. And with the door not working, just as it is now, you can imagine all the water getting in there. So I quickly had to go buy a tent. I saved it for parts, mostly the Rainfly. I've gone through a bunch of Rainfly poles. Those don't seem to hold up a lot. So for this particular review of the tent for this camping trip, everything seems to be fine. A quick walk around one more time. As I was putting up the tent, there are these clips kind of hold up the tent a little bit. There's an opportunity to pull the tent with some guy lines. Those go all the way around. Let me jump back in and check out that dog zipper. Alright, so the dog zipper has both things too. So you can get even more ventilation with just that. So I forgot about that. That's actually pretty cool. As you can tell, the Sunriver 2 is my go-to tent nowadays. Give me a second here. Okay, that zipped up just fine. I had to set the camera down in order to do that. So everything's good on this tent. Let's go ahead and move to the other one. Alright, so this is the next tent. Like I said, I haven't had this one that long. I know very little about this tent. I know it's called a ledge. It's a dome style tent, of course. My wife got it for me as a gift. I know she got it from Bass Pro Shop, and that's about it. Right, so just a real quick lap around this one too. The Rainfly also clips down to the bottom, just as the Coleman does, just at these little clips, hooks here onto this keychain looking thing. Everything's the same essentially with the dome style tent. There's no clips on here. The hole for the tent poles goes all further down, so there's no need for that clip. More fabric, of course, but again, this is a lighter weight tent. The Rainfly has these poles. I don't know if you can see that. Now this one's broken. This is one I've already fixed. I'm gonna try to fix again. Now this one comes out. It's supposed to curve and protect this window. Now it never ever came out far enough to block this window, so that was always a concern for leakage. Been through a couple storms with this. It did leak a little bit, but not as much as you'd expect. There is a guy line tie out, same as the other one. There are these, excuse me, these ties, so you can tie it to this pole for a little bit more security. I usually don't do that. I'm jumping on into the tent. I'm just going to check this back one. Same thing with this one too first. There is a higher wall, ventilation all the way around. No doggy door. I'm not really reviewing it, like I said, just kind of pointing out some facts on this. There's a pocket over there. Not as durable as the ground, but that's okay. Again, reducing the weight if I needed to backpack with this in a situation. So this one doesn't have, I can't open this. I don't think the other one did either now that I think about it. But just shutting this window a little bit. All the way, we're good. I tell you guys, this is tough. You guys want a challenge, go ahead and try this one-handed. Good there. Those are all good. You can always roll it up too, same thing, just like that. Coming out. Now I know this door has an issue. And this door always seems to struggle, so let's see if I need to do anything with this. Going good, going good. Nothing down there. Now the weird thing about this one is I do need to take a second zipper and pull it over this way. That's just the way the design goes. That zipper just ends over there. Same thing, this one just goes this way. So today this isn't having an issue. I don't know if maybe the people that were using it last were pulling it out the sides too tight and making it so they wouldn't reach. Because so far everything's going fine. This is the one I thought had an issue. At least it had an issue when we were out and about. So let's jump back inside and try it from the inside. Now there is a little bit of a gap there. Now that can cause an issue later on. Let's see if I can get rid of that gap. So you can see it kind of gapped there. So as I was going from the outside, this must have been happening. I was doing it from the outside. From the outside you can't see it because of this flap. So that certainly could have happened. But let me see if I can work on that. So it seemed to just have caught onto some fabric here. So as I backed it up, made sure it didn't catch onto the fabric. So I'm just going to take some pliers to the zipper, kind of close that gap a bit so that it doesn't pinch up fabric. Let's check this while we're at it, and I'll go grab some pliers. So this door does the same thing, where the zipper comes straight up over here, and then a second one that curves around. So that seems to be just fine. I'm gonna get out, it's a little warm in here. I picked the wrong time of the day and the wrong month and the wrong season to be doing this. Again, you guys, state being Arizona. It's about 9:30 in the morning, but it is hot. Alright, so I got this gap fixed. I'm not sure if you can see that. Essentially, I just backed the zipper all the way up, restarted, everything was fine, and then I took pliers. There was no way I was doing this one-handed. Took some pliers real quick, and I pinched the leading side of this zipper so that it would be less likely to pick up fabric, and it seems to function. I kind of ran it up and down a couple times, so we'll see if that holds up. Again, I can only run it so many times in the field, anchoring it out, in and out of the tent. That's gonna be the true test whether or not that holds up. I'll bring pliers with me or something. If that happens, we can fix it in more realistic conditions than just weekly setting it up without staking it down, without getting in and out of it, those types of variables. So I'm surprised to see that. I thought I'd have to spend more time on that, but I am sweating like a pig right now because it is hot. So I'm gonna give it a real quick check on my Eureka real quick, give you a walk around that just like I did these other two, and I think I'll wrap this up, take them down, and head on to work. Probably jump in this pool because that's looking mighty fine right now. Alright guys, so here is the Eureka Sunriver 2. This is technically a two-person tent. As you can see, it's thinner than the other ones, but it is thinner on this side than it is on this. It is a little thicker over here. We usually put our heads over here if my wife and I are camping. Again, I did not stake this out. There are guy lines all the way around that really help with ventilation no matter the season. Now, because this rainfly comes all the way down, it does tend to make it very humid and hot inside. No risk of condensation, but there is an absolute humidity factor that does make it uncomfortable. Like I said, this does pull out to be a vestibule with two, I guess, mule tape type things there. Again, I'm waiting for someone to comment to let me know what those are. But it does come out for plenty of space as a vestibule. I'm going to fold this over. As you can see, the guy lines, the rainfly simply clips onto these color coordinated, this is the only one that's color coordinated. So I know that's the front right. And then they're black all the way around. Now it is a tub style tent. There is only one door on this tent. Like I said, this is heavier, and I think it's just due to the fact that there is that large rainfly. The cool thing with this one, I don't see it in here right now. There's usually, oh, it's right here. This connects up to the top and gives you a little hammock for your gear. Gear hammock, essentially, is what that's called. So there's no holes in this one. There's a couple bugs and some dirty stuff. I'm going to dump those out when I put everything away. Real quick test on these zippers just to hold everything accountable to the same test today. This is the one I'll be using this weekend. This is my go-to tent, so I'm using this one. Everyone else can use the other older tents. So that's fine. The vestibule, like I said, I just use this again. I'm going to take you guys on more trips. Right now, all I'm using is my phone. So it's difficult with space. I've got a couple apps and stuff and some photos, and I try to delete everything, podcast, and I just don't seem to have enough space to take these videos. I try to talk fast and try to get to the point, but to make these thorough videos, it just really seems to be an issue with making sure that there's a storyline to the video or something. So, yeah, that zipper seems to work fine. So I'm going to be working on that, see if I can get some other equipment for this. There's also this helps with condensation, just a little Velcro thing you can collapse it. I keep this open. A little ventilation never hurts. So that one seems to be fine, so I'm going to go ahead and put these away. Alright everyone, so we're going to go ahead and get these started taken down. I just realized it's a little after 10. I got to get going to get to work. So here's what we're going to do. What you're going to see me do, same thing, take them down. I'm going to flip the tent up over my head. Basically, that's a trick I learned to essentially get the dirt off the bottom out the door, set them back down, and fold them on up. So I'm going to go ahead and get that started. I just didn't want you wondering what I was doing as I was doing it. Let's get started. Alright guys, so I finished putting all three of these tents away. Now this Sunriver here, I could honestly not find the bag for it, so I guess I've been using it in such a long time. I thought I knew where it was. I took a look for it, couldn't find it. So that one's not bagged up. Everything else went down. Now I felt very fast with this one. Maybe it's the third tent I did today, so maybe that's why, but it also, those clips make such a big difference, and I'm going to give credit to that because it had the actual clips on that tent. So anyway, those are the three tents I have. No big issues as much as I thought today. So my buddies are in good hands with the tents that they're going to need to borrow because they don't go camping a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and set these up. I do think if you have any questions in regards to these, I'm going to do more thorough explanations to these tents as we use them. If I can figure out the storage on my phone, maybe I'll get some clips in this weekend while we're out camping. If anything pops up, like I said, that one tent with the zipper issue, we'll get that fixed. But again, I do want to thank you for joining us. Today wasn't that much information, but it definitely helps to review your gear frequently or before a big trip. You know, you don't want people to rely on your gear, have it malfunction, and that's embarrassing for you. It messes up their trip, especially if they're not so much into camping. So that's the goal here. Check your gear frequently, make sure it's functioning. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I am just getting started here. I appreciate your patience as we go ahead and have this trial by air everything. Again, my name is Greg with Copper State Inventions. Have a great day.